Well. Second day of the week, second day of the work week. Anyway, good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
And good morning. I'm Lee Barrows.
And Lee is sitting in again today for Kelly Napa. She's
Yes. She just
poor girl.
cannot catch a break.
No, she can't. She's not sick, but someone who was near her is, and didn't. Nobody knew about it until the last minute.
And so everybody's in quarantine.
Yeah, lockdown.
Yeah, if you're sick,
Stay home.
stay home.
Don't go around other people.
Don't go around to that's right.
Just lock yourself away, quarantine yourself for a while. You'll be okay. It'll be all right.
Yeah,
But
take a couple days off.
don't take everybody down with you. Whether they get sick or not, they still have to be.
That's right.
So whatever. Boy, we live in a crazy world.
Do you think so?
I remember a couple of years ago this story when it broke, but I have not followed up on it, but I can now. Two soldiers connected to the unsolved 2020 mystery surrounding the decapitation of a fellow soldier have been convicted by court martial after facing charges related to conspiracy, disobeying orders, and other nonviolent offenses, not with his decapitation or his murder. How come? Because they haven't found the rest of Specialist Enrique Roman Martinez,
The victim?
the victim. They found his head. It washed up on the Shackelford banks.
Wow.
They were on a camping trip, a bunch of them together.
Could you imagine being out there camping and that washes up?
Well, no.
I'd be packing my stuff.
Well, happened over Memorial Day weekend 2 years ago. The 7 soldiers went camping with Martinez.
I remember this.
Now you remember?
Yes, now I remember.
They reported him missing on the 23rd.
That's right.
Less than a week later, his head washed near Shackelford Banks Island,
Ugh.
just west of where the soldiers were camping. If you guys don't know where that is, it's up near the Outer Banks
Right.
type stuff. The soldier, Roman Martinez, was 21. He's assigned as a human resources specialist to the 82nd Airborne Division, originally from California. The case is still unsolved, with the cause of his death still unknown, despite authorities treating the case as a homicide. They've called it a homicide, but they don't know the cause of death. All 7 soldiers who went camping with him have faced minor charges, military charges,
Right.
disobeying orders, conspiracy, or drug use.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 convictions that just came down earlier this month marked the first for anyone involved in the case. One of those guys, the most senior officer there, most senior soldier there, is a sergeant, convicted on about 10 days ago of conspiracy, 2 counts of making a false statement, reduced in rank to specialist, and ordered to forfeit 2/3 of his pay for 1 month.
Oh my gosh.
It's unclear when, if at all, he will be separated from the military. Another one, a specialist, was convicted last month of 3 counts of disobeying a superior officer and 1 count of wrongful use of a controlled substance, drugs. He's previously charged with conspiracy and making false statements, but he was acquitted on those. He received a reduction in rank to private and has been separated from the military, got his butt kicked out.
That's a crazy story.
The Army says that the convictions are not directly connected to Roman Martinez's death. Well, they're not, because they don't know what caused him to die. The charges are related, the Army said, to their actions at the same time of the death, but not related to the death.
Okay.
They were
I can understand what they're saying.
The other 5 soldiers were charged with minor offenses, but they have not been tried yet. The soldiers who accompanied Roman Martinez, on the excursion all made the trip despite a COVID-19 lockdown protocol at their home base at Fort Bragg.
Oh,
That's the problem that they had. That's what got them into a whole bunch of trouble.
That time.
Yes, it was. And the base was locked down. An autopsy reportedly ruled Roman Martinez's death a homicide, but medical examiners could not determine the cause. Huh? Okay. The Army's Criminal Investigation Division is investigating the case as a homicide, but has categorized his death as a cold case.
Hmm.
Just hours before they called 911 on the 23rd of May to report their friend missing, the group
Right.
of soldiers ran in. Hours before they called, they ran into U.S. park rangers who asked them to move their vehicles. They didn't
Busted.
tell him.
They didn't tell him. Oh,
They did
yeah,
not tell the park
okay.
ranger that, hey, we're looking for our buddy. He's missing. And the 911 call, which was a cover-up call, obviously,
Right. They figured after the fact, the
several
better.
hours later, one of the soldiers said that the group had been looking for the missing paratrooper all day, trying to locate park rangers for help. But they had already had a contact one-on-one with the park ranger.
They didn't do very good at covering their tracks, did they?
They had to come up with a story, and it does not fly.
Wow. Wow.
The CID, Army's Criminal Investigation Division, had said the agents investigated the soldiers for drug use.
Well, I guarantee you, if we get a major storm this summer, the rest of it will wash up from somewhere.
It's
Could be buried out there.
2 years. How did why,
Yeah, the rest of the body could be buried deep in the sand.
a year after it happened, last year, the CID said in a news release, it's a little confusing and very vague. Quote, please understand that homicide basically means that someone's death was caused by someone else. That means that the death could have been intentional or it could have been unintentional. For example, in this case, someone running over someone with a boat while the person was in the water, etc. End quote. What?
That does not even make sense.
And that's the best that the CID could come up with as an explanation for not coming up with anything?
Well,
You know what? I'll tell you what. I've been to a number of autopsies, and
yes,
I've
you
worked
have.
with several medical examiners. I'm be willing to bet that it's only a week later that they would be able to tell if a severed head had indications that a boat had
Well,
severed the
that's what I
head, a
was
boat
thinking too.
propeller.
Now, how long from the actual time that the person was reported missing until the head was found?
1 week, 5 days, or 6 days.
So it should still, at
It
least
has
the spinal
stuff.
cord should at least still show indications of whether it was a cut or a break, I would
The
think.
water in May is warm,
Yes, it is.
okay? Unless the body was damaged by a boat, like cut up and
Right,
pretty bad, it would have floated
right.
within 3 days, 4 days
Yes.
at the most. As we know along our coast, a lot of people have disappeared over the years, and they've never, no remains have ever been recovered. We're still looking for, still trying to find, as far as I know, a man who disappeared, a week and a half ago.
Yes, that's correct.
Uh-huh.
In a drowning.
And we remember also that a leg washed up a couple of
Right.
weeks ago,
And they have yet to find the rest of the
and
remains.
that guy, that was from a kayaker
Right.
from last December.
That's right.
The Army's
Well,
Criminal Investigation
I
Division
just don't even want to go swimming anymore in the
still has
ocean.
a $50,000 reward for information connected to this case. One of those 7 individuals,
knows the truth.
but what it sounds like, all 7
Yeah,
know the
well,
truth,
yes, I would have to
because
say
they're all
that.
covering it up somehow or another. Whatever happened, I don't know. I don't know what happened. Can't accuse them of anything, but they do know. That didn't
Seems
happen
seems like to
just
me
willy-nilly.
it'd have to be a lot of cleanup out there. I don't know. That's a mystery that hopefully one day will be solved.
Another mystery of our Outer Banks.
Yes.
Wow.
Coast, I'm gonna tell you. I mean, water has a life of its own.
It does.
You're going into a whole unknown territory when you go out there.
I know a lot of it.
Yes, you
And
do
I'll
by
be,
boat. Well,
I
you've
know a lot of
scuba
it from
dived it.
underneath it
Yes, you've scuba dived
Yeah.
a lot of it too.
for 58 years.
No, I'll just stay on land.
Here's a crazy story for you.
Oh no.
Yesterday, Texas police arrested a woman who they say opened fire at the Dallas Love Field Airport about
Us?
10
Oh,
o'clock yesterday morning.
why?
What in the
How does
world?
she even? Why
Well,
would you do that?
well, I'll explain.
Okay,
The
please do.
37-year-old woman had been dropped off at the airport a little bit earlier. She entered the terminal. She then went inside a women's restroom, came out, different looking clothes,
Huh.
walked into the ticket area and fired her pistol. She came out. People said they saw her with her gun up in the air. One woman said she had guns, but all I know is of one. And fired her gun several times.
At the ceiling,
At the
right?
yeah, not at
Yes.
anybody in particular that
Why?
that we
Oh,
know of, that they know of. A Dallas cop was nearby, engaged the woman. She didn't comply. He shot her.
well, that's what happens.
Got her in the lower extremities.
Good Lord, have
So the
mercy.
cops rushed her to the hospital. She was treated. No one else was hurt, and no idea what she was actually shooting at or who. A woman with the same name and age, here we go, was arrested on a bank robbery charge in Dallas 2 years ago, 3 years ago. That
Uh-huh.
woman at the time handed a teller a note demanding money. The charges were dropped, and she was ordered to get a
Psychiatric evaluation.
uh-huh.
Right.
No word on whether she followed through or what the results were. Another obvious failure
Yes. Did they
of
even
our system.
red flag her in the system?
Where'd
Did
she
they
get the
say
gun?
what?
I don't know.
Did she have her responses to why she shot up the
She's
airport?
she's not going to be talking, and if she's talking, she's going to be talking nonsense.
And yes, and then yeah, right. That's the message. If you want to do something crazy, just act crazy. Of course, you have to be crazy anyway.
I don't think she's acting.
You think?
I think she is. I think she's. Who goes out? It goes into an airport,
It's the easiest
and
way to go to the pen.
and she had not gotten anywhere where TSA was or anything. It just happened to be a cop standing there.
It's crazy. Just she, she obviously wanted attention and she got it.
Um, she's had it before. I don't. I feel bad for people in that situation. But my God, if you're told to get some help, get some help.
Absolutely. And where was her family at?
I
Surely
don't
she had
know.
family and friends that,
Somebody dropped her off at the airport.
yeah, they
No,
wanted.
seriously, they did. They drove up, she got out of the car and walked in.
Maybe it was family hoping she'd just get on a plane and not come back.
Well,
That's crazy.
one of the airport people there at the terminal said she was complaining that her husband had been fired from his job. But crazy people talk crazy.
I see the 1975 murder of John Benet Ramsey's back in the news
Yes, it
again.
is. Yes, it is. It
Do you
is.
think they'll ever solve that case?
I,
So much speculation.
well, yeah. There, who knows?
Well, some researcher in the cold case is claiming that the scene DNA could be ID'd in hours and prove who the killer
I think that was
is.
a brother. Something didn't her brothers make that claim?
Well, there's it's switched up so many times. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
know.
There was a lot of speculation on the brother,
That
but
daddy or that daddy did.
or the daddy
See,
did it.
for you guys who don't remember the case, I remember following a lot. I mean, it was big time. The body was found downstairs after police apparently searched the whole house.
Right.
But the dad said, "Let's go down here and check again."
Hmm.
And he basically led them straight to the body.
Isn't that kind? It's. I would
There's,
almost think he knew and
well, yeah,
was covering for another family member, maybe.
or maybe.
Yeah, it's John Benet. Is the brother now that's wanting to renew the case.
Uh-huh. Why?
So
Because he's having remorse, or is he just want
I
something
don't
done?
know. That's one of those unsolved mysteries that maybe, hopefully, one day we'll know.
Yeah, probably way in the
There
future.
was a lot of, in my opinion, mistakes made in the investigation.
Well, yeah, they had everybody roaming all over the house, the scene of the crime,
That's right.
destroying evidence.
Destroying evidence.
I mean, this went on for like 10 hours or 12 hours
Yes.
before they did anything else. The place should have been locked down.
Yep. I agree. That's the first thing you do when you go into a crime scene. Lock it down.
Yep. Ain't nobody here but those who need to be here.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see. Coming up this morning at 8 o'clock, we've got a
Yes.
couple of special guests in here, a couple of guys that I know fairly well. Um, they're both members of our fishing club here, the Onslow Bay Saltwater Fishing Club, but they are also members of the Coast Guard Auxiliary at the in Swansboro.
I think I met them when we were doing a remote in Swansboro.
Probably did.
Yes.
So they're going to be in here joining us this morning, talking about boating safety. And interestingly enough, boating safety starts with the smallest boat that you can get your hands on, and
Right.
works all the way up to yachts.
Mine starts with a raft, but yeah.
Either way, if it floats and you're going to be out on the open water anywhere,
Right.
it's a boat.
I
And
think it's important that you know.
and you should need to know. There's some things, some mistakes, and we're going to ask them what mistakes that most boaters make.
Be very interesting.
And
love to
interestingly
learn.
enough, one of these gentlemen was involved in a rescue Sunday.
Isn't that something?
And this interview was set up
Right
well
place at the right
before,
time.
well before that. So we're going to get the details of that. But two young guys, or two people, I don't know whether they're guys, gals, or whatever, and I don't know how young they were, but two people were rescued in some fairly choppy waters on Sunday, from kayaks.
Okay,
So
well, see, I won't get in a kayak.
we
Those are like little mini coffins. You turn over in that, what do?
you swim.
But aren't you belted in?
Some of them you sit in, some of them you sit on top of, but I don't know anybody that gets belted into. I mean, you don't
Oh,
need a
I
seatbelt
don't
there.
know. Just looking at people in kayaks and
But
the thought of getting
and if
topped over.
if you're in a kayak, you're going to roll over sooner or later. So be prepared to get wet. And if you're there, you better have a life jacket on.
Oh,
You should have a
most
life jacket on, but
definitely.
some people don't.
Most definitely. Life
They just don't
jackets.
do it. They don't do it.
It's crazy.
I've been in a kayak once.
I just
It was
don't.
my first and
And
last
last.
experience because they're just not comfortable to me.
Don't you feel like you're just in a little
No, I was
can?
looking for the start button to get the engines going, and they handed me a paddle, and I said, "Say what? What's this for?"
Oh my gosh. Yeah, paddle. No, I
No,
don't think so. So my
I'd,
brother and sister-in-law have paddle boards. They're like
no,
surfboards, and you stand on
yeah, I
them
know.
and
You
paddle.
fall off.
Yeah, well, it's the paddling part that would get
You fall
me.
off.
Well, first of all, trying to stand,
Yep, that too.
you fall off.
You go fall off. I'm just not going to do it. Don't need to do it. So y'all can do it. It's great exercise, they tell me, but it really
Yeah,
is a killer on my back.
just step on the boat.
We'll take a break and do some weather and come back on the other side with much more ridiculous news.
Crazy news this morning.
It is just totally crazy. Price of gasoline continues to go down.
That's a blessing because I'm down to 57 miles. I need to fill up today. I've been holding off, hoping it'll go down a little bit
I
more.
just cannot imagine me celebrating when the gas dropped to $3.53. I'm celebrating for
Makes you
$3.53.
want to go to the store and buy a steak.
Oh, you can't
Save.
afford that yet.
Oh, I know it is
Oh
crazy.
my God! I saw some for a deceiving sign yesterday. It was an Exxon type sign. We're in New Bern, 333.9.
Yes.
But you know what it was?
Um,
For a car wash on and then it rotated over to the price of gasoline, which was $3.59.
well, that's just wrong. Car wash at 333?
Yeah, a little tiny note above the top of it that said car wash 333.9. It looked like it was a gas sign, and then it said gas 359.9.
Somebody needs to fix that sign.
Oh, it was intentional. It's to
Oh,
get you
most
to
definitely.
it's
Well,
intentionally
you
get
know
you to
what?
pull in.
I heard on one of the local news networks this morning because they're
Mhm.
always giving gas prices, and they had mentioned a gas station in New Bern. It was 3 something. I bet they got full too. Y'all
You're
got
live in local
fooled.
Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM WSME. If you're looking for us on Facebook, we ain't there. You can find us online at WSME971.com.
Yeah.
Very high quality audio there.
Mm-hmm.
On the air, of course, over the air is the best quality at 1120 AM if you're out of Onslow County area, or in Onslow, it works there too, or at 97.1 FM here in Onslow. And our new, if you want to see this ugly mug and this young lady,
No, that's not
then
true.
you can take a look at
YouTube.
YouTube.
Yes.
This young lady is the YouTuber,
Well, I'm trying. I'm learning more and more every day.
and we're up there. And we left Facebook because every day for the last 2 or 3 weeks that we were up live, we had
Every
parts of our
single
audio
day
dropped for no reason.
saying that we
maybe have violated some copyright infringement.
And we're like, well, what, the only copyright we have is our own.
Yeah, we're copyrighted,
Well, we're
and
going to
and
really
and the show
enhance this
and
channel.
the show is owned. This show is owned. It's a LLC. Live
That's
and
right.
Local Real Talk is an LLC. That means a corporation.
That's right. And
So we own it.
we have all the rights
Yep, we do.
to play music
Do
and
whatever we want to do.
do whatever we want to do, except say very bad words,
Yeah,
which
the
we would never
FCC comes
do.
into play there.
Yes.
Okay, so we can't do that. We won't do that. 910-333-0139. Anybody else having issues with Facebook? Anybody at all? We'd like you really to sign up and say, what is it called? Subscribe
Subscribe, yes.
to
You can
us.
go right onto our feed. Go to YouTube. It's
YouTube.com.
Live and Local Real Talk.
Just go to
Go to
youtube.com
search bar,
first, and then
right.
to the search bar, put in Live and Local Real Talk.
And
Now,
once,
there are some things, other people that call themselves Real Talk. Some call
yes,
themselves Live and Local.
there's some Live and Locals, but you'll know us. You'll recognize the
You'll
picture.
recognize the picture. Okay.
And we're going to enhance it a lot more. And once you hit that subscribe button and then hit the little bell button, which is notifications, you'll get a notification when we go on air live.
I
And we're
tried that.
working
It
on,
doesn't ever notify me.
well, it does me. You just, I don't know.
You're going to have to
Yeah, and
take
we're
my,
going to do a lot of
yeah,
enhancement over the months.
yeah.
It's the learning process, and we try to schedule streams ahead of time. Ran
Mhm.
into a little bit of issues there, but I
Yeah.
think I know now how to fix that. So, and
Kelly and Lee now know how to bypass all that scheduling stuff and go in
right.
whenever they want to.
And something else new to announce.
What's
We
that?
are now on TikTok and
TikTok.
Instagram. We're just starting out, but we do have a few videos on TikTok.
Do we?
Yes, we do. There's one
I
of
don't
you
even,
fishing.
I've never been on TikTok.
Oh, I spend hours watching that. It is so funny, some of the videos. I will laugh till I am in tears. But we've got that there. It's all under Live and Local. And
You're
just
going to
so
have to show me how I
check
can
it
post videos on
out.
our Live and Local page that stay on
Yes.
our page.
Yes.
Because I posted one yesterday, but it just went into the general population on YouTube.
On YouTube?
Yeah, just general.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we can
I want to know how to do it on us.
yeah,
I
we
just tried it yesterday just to see what was going
yes,
on.
you have to download it, then upload the video going into the back door. But we'll get it all figured out.
Okay.
It's a lot to learn.
910-333-0139. I'm not a YouTuber expert.
I'm far from it,
Don't
but
go
I'm learning
away.
a lot.
Weather's next. We'll be right back. All right, we're back live, and good morning, Robert. I see you're looking at us on YouTube this morning. Found us.
Yay.
Good for you. Need a boat?
Yes. Well, let's just say I want a boat.
That's exactly what the point. You don't have to need a boat. If you
That's
just
right. I
want a
don't
boat,
need it. I want
nothing
it.
wrong with that. You've likely earned it working hard every day, week in and week out.
Yes.
Too much work, not enough time on the water is a formula for disaster.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is for me. Whether it's a Lund boat for creeks and rivers or an aquasport bay boat for the rivers, intercoastal waterway, and nearshore fishing, check out what Tideline Marine has to offer. While you're looking at the boats, make sure you step inside the store, the ship store there. Oh,
Oh, it's
my.
nice in there.
Tideline is carrying a good variety of the lures that local professional guides have recommended. You want to know what they recommend? Just ask any of the folks there working. Tideline Marine, 159 Old Bridge Street on the banks of the New River in downtown Jacksonville. Winds continue today out of the southwest, 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 5 feet, dominant period 7 seconds. Sounds and rivers will be choppy. Southwesterly winds again tomorrow, 15 to 20, gust to 25 knots tomorrow, 4 to 5 footers. Dominant period 6 seconds, and sounds and rivers choppy. And on Thursday, if this sounds like a broken record, it is. Winds out of the southwest at about 15 to 20 knots. In other words, it's going to be breezy. Seas will be 3 to 5 feet.
In today's weather, mostly sunny with a high near 90, heat index values as high as 100 degrees. Southwest wind 7 to 11 miles per hour with gusts as high as 20 miles per hour with a 30% chance of rain. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 78. Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high near 95. Heat index values as high as 107.
Oh, my.
Better get the Gatorade out. Southwest wind
the air
around 10
conditioner going.
miles per hour with gusts as high as 16, and chance of rain is at 30%. Wednesday night, partly cloudy with a low of 77. And Thursday, mostly sunny with a high near 96.
So here's my plan. I'm going to put a hammock up back over here. Okay?
Right.
And you get one of them fans things,
Right.
and you can stand there and fan me
Well,
while I'm
trying
doing
to
the hair.
this heat right now, I've already
This-
decided I just don't want to have to
pretty
go visit
intense.
my maker anytime soon because
Nope.
I know as hot as it is outside, I surely don't want to be visiting any other place.
No, not at all. There was a hearing yesterday.
Yes, there was.
I haven't seen it. I understand some of it's been posted, maybe,
No,
or it has not.
actually, it
was
was
not.
news clips.
Just news clips.
It wasn't the actual hearing
Okey-dokey.
itself.
So here's the story. We've talked about it a lot. We've had this young man on the show here on any number of times, Eric Whitfield. I think I met him the first time when he was running for county commission some years
It
ago.
was back in 2015.
Okay.
Well,
So-
along with 16 other people.
Yeah. So I met him then. Interesting guy. And then he wasn't elected, did not get the nomination. And then he ran as a Republican
Yes.
on the Republican ticket 2 years ago
In
now.
2020 for the 2020 election.
So he ran in the primary and he made it in the primary.
Yes.
And then he continued to, even though in spite of telling people in letters and posts and all that sort of stuff, don't vote for me.
That's right.
I don't deserve it type thing. Don't vote for me.
Right.
I'm kind of weird, and yada, yada, yada. You shouldn't be voting for me.
Well,
And
here's
his big campaign was, don't vote for me, but if I'm elected, what I want to do is I want to have a stepping stone to the county commission.
That's right. Exactly.
And at the same time, I will quit the school board. I will resign from the school board if the county commissioners will reduce the tax rate
That's right.
to a certain level.
So that was his whole plan to
That was his
begin
plan.
with
That
the
was his
name
plan.
recognition, getting on the board of
And
education.
then when he was elected as a Republican to the school board, then he became a Democrat. He
He
changed his party
decided to change
affiliation.
parties.
And then he said, well, you know what? I'm just going to vote however the chairman votes.
Right.
I'm just going to be a yes man to the chairman. So that's been for the last, coming up on 2 years, a year and a half now that he's been on the board. And then he started apparently some kind of an exchange with a school system employee.
Yes.
who happens to also be a school board member over in Craven County. So this went on for quite some time. She filed complaints against him for cyber stalking. He was finally arrested and he was convicted.
Yes, he was.
And he spent 2 days in the jailhouse
Yes, he did.
because he did not do what the judge told him to do.
That's right. No contact means no contact.
And then since then, he's been Well, he's got about another, what, 10 months to go, 10 months to go before he can say things
Right.
that he said. But anyway, the school board decided, even though it was a misdemeanor conviction, that they did not like what was happening. So a hearing was scheduled and was held yesterday.
Right.
I don't know how long the hearing lasted. I know that from reports that we
Most
got from
day,
a
yes.
school board member, it started at 9. They took a break at 3-ish.
3-ish, yes.
And then he said, I'm not coming back.
And he did not come back from what we hear.
Yeah. So
And
we
he-
don't know what this hearing is. A hearing officer, they folks will hear it. They will make a determination, and then they will send their results to the school board.
Right. Some kind of judicial committee or
Yeah,
something.
and then
looks at it.
the school board will make a decision
Right.
as to what the future of his tenure on the school
Which it
board will
could
be.
take up to 30 days.
Yeah.
I'm just interested to see if they're going to release a video on the hearing.
They said that they would initially,
Right.
but I don't know when it will be happening.
Right.
It was not a closed hearing.
Now, the public could have attended,
Uh-huh.
but I think they were just being cautious all the way around with the attendance and stuff.
They were.
Because, there's a lot of people that they're testifying that probably, it just made them nervous to begin with.
Oh, it
and
did, I'm sure.
Just get up there and testify in front of a whole room packed full of people. So it'll be interesting. I guess we'll all anxiously await for the video to come out and see what the outcome on this is going to be.
And as always, if Eric wants to have a chat, he's welcome to give us a call. Eric
Yes.
Whitfield, you know the number, 910-333-0139. If anybody else was at the hearing yesterday
And would like to
and you want to
call
talk,
in.
give us a call, because all we know is what we have been told.
That's right.
We did not attend the hearing. I don't generally
Right.
attend news events anymore. We kind of rely on other people to
Right.
give us their opinions. This is an opinion-oriented show.
Yes.
We have opinions.
That's right.
And we get to express them. And we encourage you to have an opinion and to express yourselves as well. We like it when you do. That's what talk radio is all about.
Exactly. Opinions are opinions. They're
Yep.
just that. But they can make a lot of good conversation. There you go. So we have a phone call.
We do. Good morning. Who's this?
Good morning. It's Jason Dedman.
Hello,
Well,
Jason.
good
How are
morning,
you?
Jason?
Good.
Right.
I did not attend the hearing. I had the day off yesterday,
Good for you.
and I am not going to talk about politics or my decision on anything of that. I just want to let the public know, because we get a lot of calls about Eric and what we can do. And even if Eric were to decide he wanted to step down, he wouldn't do that through my office. He would do that through the Board of Education.
Correct.
And the
Right.
Board of Education would then, as their own governing body, they would decide who would replace him if he decided to step down.
Not actually.
And
It's not the
It
school.
is up to the party that he was elected as a Republican onto the board. So it would be the executive committee of the Onslow County Republican Party that would replace him.
there you go. Sorry for the
That's okay.
misspeak.
That
What
was,
I mean is there wouldn't be an election a special election
right. No
to
special election, right.
replace him.
Right.
So we don't mind taking phone calls, but I've gotten a lot of phone calls, and that is between him and the Board of Education, whether or not he steps down. Now,
Right.
that issue that they're doing, the A motion, I don't know much about that, but
I
if
don't either.
if that succeeds, then they could try to have him removed from office, but I think that's been reversed before somewhere.
Well, you
but,
have the appeal process that you would have to go through. So it could take 30 days.
Yeah.
It could take 3-4 months. So it just
So
remains to be
I don't want to
seen.
get into all that. I just want to let everybody know that if he steps down or if he doesn't step down, and if he did step down, who he is replaced with, none of that comes out of my office.
Got no dog in that fight.
Made me
Yeah, that's
sneeze.
all I wanted to say.
Okay. All right.
And
Right. You're completely
just
out
let
of
you know
it.
that.
You're completely out
Right.
of it till 2024 when we go into elect new board members.
Well, he's
Correct.
yeah for
Right.
that. He's got some. No, there's a race in this year.
But
Oh, that's
November,
right.
general
Yeah, we
election.
got to finish this
You
year.
forgot that. Yeah.
right.
forgot.
Yeah, but he's not.
No, he's not.
He's
Not for
not
his.
on that.
Not for his seat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's not up for
No,
reelection.
he's not on that. So I don't mind taking the phone calls. I just want to let the people know that please don't get upset at my office because there's nothing that my office can do. I've had several conversations with Eric, and he's asked about different things, but what Eric wants to do is up to Eric, not me or
Right.
my office. And so I wish the whole process does whatever it's supposed to do, and I'm not rooting for or against them because I'm not allowed to. I'm just letting you know what my office can and can't do.
Good.
Well,
What's-
can I ask you how many people filed for soil and water?
4.
Wow, 4 people.
Yep. One incumbent's daughter, and then 2 people trying to get the seat. So I
Refresh
think
me-
there is 2 females and 2 males.
To refresh my memory, who is the current soil and water person right now?
I don't know that.
I know his name, and
Um,
for the life of me, I can't remember it today. But
Yeah.
I was just curious.
They're
as
going
to
to want me to order here at the Dunkin' Donuts, so I apologize. Maybe
Well,
I should go.
get something cream filled. I like those.
And I like the glazed donuts. Just
All right.
tap on the door, we'll
Y'all,
let you in.
y'all have a good day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Jason Dedman, the guy in charge who runs the
Yes.
show at the Onslow County Board of Elections.
Which
for those who
he
don't know.
has been so transparent
Oh, yeah,
since he
real
took
good.
over that position.
How can I see us if I'm just logging on
You
to
would
YouTube? Okay, let me just go back and start all over again.
just log on and well, you're
You-
already there.
I know, but it doesn't show up.
Oh.
So I'm just doing it all over again.
You probably have to go over there in your little picture and click sign in.
Over here?
Yes.
Okay.
You're already in. Okay, so go back over here.
So that's a video I posted yesterday. So now
Oh.
I don't know. I want to see us live. How do I see us live?
You just go over here to where it says subscriptions.
Do, 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 do.
And
We'll figure that out after the break. You're
I'll
live and
show you
local,
during the
Real
break.
Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME. I'm YouTube Challenge. We'll be right back. And we're back, and I guess I was shown the light here, and uh-oh.
You,
I guess I need to mute my speaker now.
yes, you do. Yes. And that's
There
like I come in, I have to mute
we go.
everything. Yes.
I was shown where to find us on.
And you went right
and
to
I went
it.
right to, well, yeah,
You did
click,
good.
bang. And there it is. And then I was listening to myself again, about half second late.
Yes.
Not bad.
It's like Kelly just told us she was watching it on her television. If you have a smart TV, you can click onto YouTube and you can watch it right on your TV.
Yeah. Just like we on TV.
Yeah. 65-inch screen. We ought to look good.
That's
No.
I need makeup.
I know. It's just like I'm gonna have to pull everything back.
Yeah. That's not a beauty mark either.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, that's something that's been.
Did you cut yourself shaving?
No, that's a doctor did it yesterday for me.
Oh, I
So
see.
they did it, did a little biopsy to see what it is.
Oh, okay.
So
They
anyway.
those doctors love doing that.
They do that. They said this is gonna hurt now.
I'll say it's a mosquito bite. No, I need to take a biopsy. I'm like,
Good morning. Who's this?
It's the donkey man this morning. How you
haw.
to the hall?
Hey haw, he haw. How you be?
hey, Tim.
I'll be fine. Hey, dear heart,
One of the
you
hens
don't
here.
have to worry about it. You look good anyway. Now, Rayford ain't no hood for
I know a bag works.
Yeah. Bag two back in case the first one falls off. Yeah, remember that.
Then
I'm
there's
calling
Coyote
it-
Ugly. Remember that one too, don't you?
Oh yes, sir.
We
Well,
won't
I'm
talk
so
about it.
ugly if I go.
There
I'm
was
so
a
ugly
movie
if I go
out.
to the beach. The tide
Coyote-
won't even come in.
Coyote
I
Ugly.
got you.
It was a good movie.
I'm calling in this morning to the city of Jacksonville. I just want to give them a great big clap in the hand.
Oh, well, good. Yeah, there you go.
Center Street
Yes.
has been paved, and
Yes,
I
it
am
has
so
been.
happy to report. Yes,
I
it
slid
is
right down it this
fantastic.
morning.
I just want to tell the mayor and the city council and all the taxpayers that throwed in on it that we really appreciate it, the ones that work down here.
Mhm.
And that's what I want to call in for. I try to give praise where praise is due.
Yep.
And that was my rant for this morning. Thank you, Mayor. Thank the City Council. God knows
They
y'all
do a
have
good job.
y'all done a great job. I wish they could have winded it out, but they don't have enough
Yeah, I
shelter to
kind of
do
wish
that,
they
but
had
it's
had
fine.
some leftover and done the parking lot here.
Well, that would have been
I
nice.
can wash my truck, and then I come into the radio station when I leave. I've got that
Oh, yeah.
chalky marrow dirt all over my truck.
That's
Oh, yeah.
personal property there.
well,
that's
you
up to
know,
the-
I mean, a
That's
little
it.
extra, just
That-
throw it that way.
It's not our
Now,
parking
that-
lot either,
I
by
know,
the way.
it's just
It actually
not
belongs
nice.
to somebody
Right.
else.
If they had a
Oh.
ditch, they'd have an easement all the way across the ditch. But I don't think.
Oh,
you
I'm
got a
not
ditch there.
complaining.
Are
It's
you
all
mad?
good.
Yep.
If I don't get it dirty
Oh, yeah.
here, I'll get
But
it dirty elsewhere.
Me too.
Yeah,
I'm
but
the
I will
same way.
say
But that's what I wanted to holler at this morning,
they
real
do a
quick.
good job
before I had
keeping
to
our
get
city
back in.
roads
But
straight.
yeah,
Hey Tim,
I
Very good.
appreciate it. Yes, sir.
we haven't talked too much about it yet. Price of gasoline's coming down. I've seen the price of diesel down about what, $4.40 or something. The lowest place I've seen it.
474 is what I've seen it. It might be 440 somewhere else, but
Yeah.
I hadn't seen it.
Trying to remember. What it was.
Yeah, it is coming down. Folks, don't get your hopes up. It ain't gonna go down like it
No.
was.
Oh, and not
But
according
now,
to Joe. He said at
No,
current
it's not-
prices, the average driver will spend $35 less per month for one person.
Yeah. I'm just
Are
telling
you saving
don't
that? Have
keep
you
your
seen
hopes
that
up.
35?
Well, not
You
only
can look
but-
about Labor Day. You can look out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking
All
that
right.
it's probably going to come down through November, up until November, a little bit here, a little bit
Yeah,
there,
it might.
because the Democrats need to win in November. If they don't win in November, somebody else is going to take over, and then the
Yeah.
price is going to go back to where they're supposed to
He
be.
sure doesn't mind taking credit
Yeah.
for them coming down. Well, he was the
He's-
reason why they went up.
Yeah,
Well,
Just don't
yeah,
get me
He
you're
didn't-
right.
he didn't
and
take credit
people
for that,
don't
did
think so.
No, he didn't.
he blamed Putin
No.
for that one
Well,
and Trump.
I told one guy, I said the oil company got all the money they lost with the pipelines and stuff. I said, I guess gasoline will come back down. So, yeah, he's the initial cause of it, and he's not the reason it's going down because he gave away oil, sold oil, and gave away oil to other countries,
Including China.
including China. What is it? Tupec.
Yeah.
It's a company that bought oil, and they're China controlled.
Yeah.
Yeah, hats
From
off to Biden.
our reserves. Of course, he's not the
From
only
our
president.
reserve.
Trump did the same thing. The more
yeah,
the
but
more we learn about the power of the presidents, the more I say they got too much power.
and yeah, they do, and they weren't supposed to. Just like our very, very, very first president of the continental United States was John Hanson. I know everybody. Well, you don't know what? Yeah, it was. There were 7 of them before George Washington came along, and he had no power whatsoever. They don't even.
They're not supposed to.
Voted him in unanimous, right? And he had no power. He was there for, I think the history tells us, 1.5 years.
Something like that.
But that was yeah. But none of them really had no power. They didn't know what to do. I mean, country was young.
Yeah.
And according to my history, he was part black. So Obama ain't the first one.
I've said that before. You know, they called Obama a black president, but he's 51%, according to what it is, white.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I'm a 1/8 African American and 1/8 American Indian, and the rest of me is Welch, according to my what I know. But for $40. I can take a sample of your blood, Rayford, send it off, and come back as a full-blooded, purebred, say, walking horse or quarter horse, whatever I want to do, whatever I need.
I can tell you right now, you ain't going to get a sample of my blood. If you do,
right? I mean,
you can try.
Money talks. Money talks.
It does.
Buddy. But I'll let y'all go. I just want to say that my hat's off to the city of Jacksonville for the payment they did on Center Street, and I appreciate it, guys. So I know they don't never get no praise, so I figured I'd give them a little bit.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, thank you. That's in the
thank you, Tim.
Y'all be sweet.
Come see us.
Y'all have a good one.
I'm never going to be sweet. You're live and local, Real Talk. Don't go away. Guess what? We'll be right back. All right, Lee, this is a question for you. What happened on this date? Many moons ago, before this country was a country.
Oh my gosh.
July 26th, the year was
July
1775. What happened?
1775. I could make several guesses, but I'll make a fool out of myself. So go ahead.
Post office
Oh,
came into being 1776 on this date.
That was back during the
I remember it.
Pony Express days.
No, Pony Express came along 100 years later.
100 years later.
Yeah.
Wow.
About 90 years later, something like that. U.S. Postal System, established by the Second Continental Congress, Benjamin Franklin
Yay.
was the first Postmaster General.
Well, happy birthday to all my
There you
postal
go.
friends.
I say that for Lee's benefit because she
Retired from the
she
post office.
retired from the
Yes.
post office. She used to go postal a lot too. Did you know that?
About every day.
Yeah, every day she went
You
to
try
work.
to put 60-something routes on the street every day and get the mail up and get the routes out and get all the mail delivered. Yeah, you'll go postal.
It takes a little bit of
Just
time to
kidding.
do all that kind of stuff.
There's a lot of work involved in putting a letter in the mailbox. You would never know.
I used to run the network for the postal system
Did you?
out of Raleigh. Yeah.
The network.
Oh yeah. There you go. There
Yeah.
you go.
We got a couple of gentlemen in here. They're going to be joining us here, and well, they have joined us, but we're going to be talking extensively after the next break, right after Fox News, about Coast Guard Auxiliary and some other issues and things that the Coast Guard Auxiliary does and what they're all about. A lot of folks don't quite understand what they are. They see them around from time to time, and you've actually got some Coast Guard Auxiliary guys who don't have boats; they have airplanes.
Mhm.
Which
Yeah,
I
it's
find
awesome. I
interesting.
can't wait to hear all this information. I just want to know one thing. Do they let you take tours on the cutter, I guess you would call it, out there based
Rarely.
on MRI?
Yeah,
Dang, I
no.
want to go on that thing.
Yeah.
That's a nice.
Why?
They do have one,
Because it's just interesting.
they do have one boat called the American Eagle.
Yeah, sailboat. I've been on that one.
Yeah, that one they do tours on.
Yeah, that's
I just want to
It's a
go on the
sailing
one
vessel. I
right
got
there
pictures of it,
stationed on
too.
Coast Guard Road at MRI.
no.
That's a nice looking.
Join up. You can get there.
I would if I could, but
Yeah,
I'm
you-
afraid I don't meet the age requirements anymore. So
I'm sure you do.
Actually, you do.
really,
If you can stand up and walk, maintain a body temperature of over, say, 90.
yeah, I'm
We'll
good with
take it.
that.
That's
See,
you're talking about the auxiliary.
No,
Okay.
I have to have the uniform.
You
the
get
little,
you get
oh,
to
I
buy
get-
your own uniform,
oh, and I get the little lapels and stuff
Absolutely.
like that. There you go.
and you can work whenever you want. If you
I
don't
won't
want
be
to
in
work, you
tomorrow.
don't have to.
So you'll have to tell us when we come back what all actually you do as an auxiliary member.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be right with you in just a second. Hold on, guys. You know what else happened on this day in history? Marilyn Monroe was found dead.
Oh, not back in 1775. We're talking now.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're talking
I
about
gotcha.
on this date.
Marilyn Monroe.
Remember
Yeah.
her? Miss
Yes.
America resigned over nude photos that they found published.
Yeah, was that Vanessa Williams?
That was her.
Yeah.
She went on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, she became a famous movie actress, a
Yep.
TV actress.
Yep.
Yes.
And we have it was a Miss North Carolina that kicked her crown across the stage. She resigned too.
Well, I know we had one that passed away. Was it last year? I think it was that
Yeah, I
she
think so.
jumped from a building in New York.
Yep.
God bless her.
So anyway,
Must be a lot of
how many
pressure.
post offices are there in the country?
How many post offices? I couldn't tell
Today?
you
Oh,
now.
more than 40,000.
Oh, yes, I do. Well, the post office is one of the largest employer of veterans too.
How much mail do they deliver in a given year?
I couldn't tell you for sure. I don't remember.
200 billion
Yes,
pieces of mail. I get most of them
the
in the
junk
form
mail.
of bills or junk mail. Yeah.
Well,
I don't get
I
anything
don't
else.
know if everyone's aware of it. You can download an app on your phone, and you can go in. I can go in there right now, and it's going to tell me what I've got in my mailbox.
I
today.
don't do apps on my
I
phone.
know you don't do apps.
A telephone is set up for me to make a telephone call and to receive telephone calls. Okay? That's all
Yeah.
it's for.
I hear you.
I got cameras and computers for everything else that I need to do.
I'm going to go look right now and see what I've got coming in my mailbox today.
Everything is, you can sell what comes, you know what you're going to get in advance? Every piece
It's
of
going to
mail.
tell me, yeah, they've already processed everything by now.
Yeah.
And so it's going to tell me exactly how many letters I'm going to have in my box.
Not what.
It's going to show me pictures of it.
Oh, really?
And it's going to tell, and then there's a place where you can, if you've got a package coming through the mail, it'll tell you if it's on its way, if it's out for delivery. So you know. It's really cool.
Well, I got that
app.
from eBay. I'm on my computer.
Right. You can get that from Amazon, and that's a whole nother thing.
I don't do the Amazon thing. I do eBay.
Well, let's just say that when I got my notice this morning that I was coming in, so I jumped in the shower and I heard the dog just start howling, and I thought, "Where's my gun?" And when I got out of the
You want to shoot
shower,
the dog?
no, it was the Alexa, my alarm, and it's the alarm noise, and the dog just can't stand it, started howling.
Oh, okay.
So anyway.
Alexa, call 910-333-0139.
That's okay because my radio's turned off at home.
Oh,
But for all of you that have your radios on, sorry.
I've done that a few times, guys, and we actually
Yes.
get calls from the house.
My Alexa started dialing him, and I was like, stop.
Let's take a break here live in local Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME. When we come back, two gents from the U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary. And what does the auxiliary do? And one of them has a story that's only 48 hours old. How about that? Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Can I hear anything with this?
All right, we're back up live in local Real Talk.
Turn
And
the volume down.
turn the volume down. Uh-oh, you won't. You don't need to listen to that. They don't have volume controls on them.
Yeah, this one doesn't. You don't have to.
You don't
have
have to
them
have
on.
them.
Yeah. Okay.
If somebody calls in, we'll just tell you put them on real quick so you can hear the caller. But
Yeah, or I can turn the volume up over here. You can hear it that way too. So
well, that's true. Very true.
Okay, Fred Jelinek and Carl Ruschenberg. How close did I get that?
You got it.
Rauschenberg,
Junior.
Junior.
a junior.
Anyway, we got a couple of gentlemen in here. I know them from this thing called the Onslow Bay
Fishing.
Saltwater Fishing Club.
Of course.
These guys are born again liars. I fish, therefore I lie. Isn't that what we do, Fred?
Absolutely.
There you go. See, I told you so.
Well, I don't have to fish to do that.
Is that because you're a woman?
Well, it's because
Uh-oh.
we have our certain traits. We know
Uh-oh.
how to manipulate.
Oh.
It's called manipulation.
Uh-huh. Gotcha.
And it works.
Yes, it does.
Gentlemen, Coast Guard Auxiliary. So you go out there and you go working for the Coast Guard, or the Coast Guard works for you, or just exactly what does the
Well,
auxiliary
let
do?
me say one, and then you go on. Fred's got a saying that kind of describes it. We teach people how to do dangerous things safely.
Like get aboard a boat?
Stay aboard. In fact, we'll talk about not staying aboard.
So I sometimes I get off my boat in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, and you better
Purpose.
do that carefully.
Well, I just jump off, go to
Yeah.
the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, that's okay.
Something.
And if you're anchored, that's good. And if you get swept away by the current, you'll say, "Oh, wait,
Uh-oh,
this is not a good
what
idea."
happened? No, that's why we have
Yeah,
somebody else on
anchoring a
board.
boat is a good idea. I know that much.
Yeah.
Well, it used to be when I was diving a lot along the coast off of boats and whatever, I would take the anchor down
Mhm.
and I hooked it up myself into whatever structure that we were diving on.
Yep.
Period. Bottom line. And I was the last person out of the water. I unhooked said anchor and I came up with the anchor.
Uh-huh. Good. Well, there's a
That
lot
way,
of
nobody's going to leave me that way.
there are sad stories about people that dropped the anchor,
Ooh.
anchored their boat really well, jumped in the water, and they had a 4 or 5 knot current.
No, you can't do that.
Oh no!
Can't do that.
Yeah.
If you're holding on to the anchor line, you're not going to be swept away though.
Yeah.
And diving is a whole nother story. And I'm going to get some folks in here one of these days to talk about that too, because diving from a boat, and if you're diving from a boat and you don't have somebody topside, you're just silly. I would say something else, but I don't want to tell you what you really are.
Yes.
But
Hmm.
silly to do that. You need somebody, a safety person on board the boat, preferably another diver, somebody who knows what's going on in the water.
Mhm.
I think you need somebody's safety on a boat, whether you're diving or not.
Well, there needs to be people on the boat, extra people. Yes, absolutely. Boating alone is a dangerous hobby.
Because
Mhm.
we got about a month ago, the person down Emerald.
Yep.
Jim Bishop.
Yep.
Fell overboard and didn't have his cutoff switch attached to him.
Yep.
Boat still going, and he drowned.
Oh no.
He's my neighbor.
But it's all right.
I
Yeah.
am
Oh,
so
I didn't know that.
sorry. That's sad.
It happens. There are some rules too. You guys don't enforce rules. Let's just make that clear right away.
What we do is we make sure people are aware of the rules that they might be violating, but we don't give out tickets. We are the good guys on the water. So
You send
if we're
Coast Guard the
flagging you
bad guys.
down, we're going to tell you you're going to get a $350 negligent operation ticket if somebody else in a uniform sees you, but we don't do that.
Yeah, you're the auxiliary. It's kind of like the safety team, right?
Yep.
And,
We kind of do everything the Coast Guard does, except we can't shoot you
legally.
Well, that's good to know.
legally.
That's very good to know.
The boats come in all sizes, shapes, and there are a lot of. We got a big group of people in the area who love kayaking.
Mhm.
Fred found a couple of them Sunday, right?
Actually, I did. Yeah,
Where were they?
they were bobbing in the middle of Swansboro Harbor.
They weren't with their boats.
Well, they were close to their boats that had swamped and almost floated and almost sank. I've never seen two boats absolutely awash in the water. So they were trying to hang on to a paddle in one hand and their swamped boat in the other. And it would have been better if they'd had life jackets on, but they didn't.
Ooh.
Did
And
they have any life jackets
Ooh.
on board at all?
there were none.
Now, are
so
they required to
Yes.
with a kayak?
Yeah. Yeah, we told them that had anybody else saved them, they would have gotten a ticket.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah. So they were bobbing along, and it's bad because there's a pretty good outflow in
oh yeah,
Swansboro.
absolutely.
And there were a lot of boats, and a lot of boats were full of people that weren't really necessarily looking for heads in the water.
Yeah, your head in the water. I've been over in a helicopter looking for people, and the head is a very tiny thing when you're up in the air.
Yeah.
And when you're at water level, you just look like a little piece of debris out there.
That's
your
right.
body is going to be way down. Your head's going to be bobbing, and that's about all you can, if you see it at all.
Exactly.
And there's a dangerous situation.
And if
Yeah.
you got wakes in there too.
Yeah.
So we had wakes. We had a pretty good chop. So they were kind of lucky that they were seen, and then we were able to slip out and
They
grab
are
them and get them out.
definitely lucky.
Because there are a lot of boats like mine, for instance. It's got two 250 horsepower motors on it with 4 blades on each one of their stainless steel props.
Yep.
And if they're turning at, it can turn it to 5,800 RPMs, but if they're turning it at 2,000 RPMs, just putting along, imagine 2,000 revolutions per minute for each prop, stainless steel. It will cut through pretty much anything.
Yeah, you wouldn't even notice. Just lace them
Nope,
up.
I would not know it.
What's
So-
the bad thing about going overboard, if you call it that, on a kayak? I mean, you have no radio,
Uh-huh.
no telephone,
And apparently no life jacket.
Yeah.
and no life
that-
jackets. You are bobbing with the help of a paddle.
Yeah, Glenn Baxter was my crew that day, and he's an
Wow.
experienced kayaker, and so he gave them a substantial safety briefing.
I imagine
on
so.
the way
What were
home.
you thinking, boy? I can
Yeah.
hear him now.
Imagine.
Yeah. But we do other things besides
Save people.
go out in boats. We do classes for people that are new to boating.
Uh-huh.
If you notice it in a lot of the stores around here, there's literature on that have the boating laws and
Yes.
boating rules and things like that. We have people that their sole mission in life is to stock the shelves.
Yeah, Glenn comes in and stocks those at Sideline on a regular basis.
Exactly.
Nice.
And then if you want to know if your boat's safe, we will do a vessel safety check.
How much does that cost?
It is free.
Oh,
And
four
you-
letter word.
And
Free
you
is
go
great.
to, there's a website, swansboroaux.com,
Okay.
and you can find out about how to get a vessel safety check, when all the classes are going to be held, and others recreational boating information. So it's a really interesting
And we'll
site.
do the safety checks at your place.
You come to us.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
cool. That's always nice. Whether we're in a marina or wherever we got it in the backyard. If we got a boat.
Marinas, driveways, wherever you want us to go.
All right, that's cool.
That's our website.
Okay, spawnsboro@aux.com.
And Fred may want to talk to the back of that car too.
Here you
You
have
have
the
the right to remain
information.
silent. Anything you say can and will be. What does this mean?
Okay, so when you get on a boat, the person driving the boat knows how the boat works, supposedly.
Hopefully.
But the people on the boat with that person may not. And we've had incidents where the captain of the boat goes down,
Mhm.
and then the person or persons left on the boat have to figure out,
What now?
how can we get him home? And so this guest briefing, I won't go through it all, but it tells you all of the things that you want to do when you have somebody on your boat. So in case you go down, they can actually get you home.
Yep.
especially operating the radio.
That's one of the things. I got that little sign posted on mine, what to do for other people. I know what to do.
Yep.
Yes, I see that right here. It's a little
Yep.
sticker
That's-
that you can
that's-
put on your dash.
It's- That's where I've got one.
Good
when
information.
when we go to schools and have a little talk with the students, especially the high school people and junior high, we talk to them, and I'll bring a radio and have them talk into the radio.
Oh, really?
Because people know there are radios, but they're not familiar with the push to talk, release to listen
Mhm.
operation. And so
Excellent.
I'll tell them, okay, I want you to get on there and say, Coast Guard, I need help.
Hmm.
And they'll get there and they'll go, Coast Guard.
Oh, I could
Coast
do
Guard."
that. In a
And I said, no,
heartbeat.
no, no. You have to use your best cheerleader
You
voice.
need to enunciate.
Yes.
Yeah, you would hear a help from
Yeah.
me.
And I used to stand watch at the Coast Guard station for about 10 years. And
Right.
if you
Wow.
say that, that is
Yes,
not correct radio procedure, but we
right.
will respond.
Yes, I know. I was just kidding. I used to have to operate on the radio for a while
Yeah.
with a business we had. So
And law enforcement.
yeah,
We got I just got 2 new radios put on board. I change mine out regularly. I know they're cheap.
Mhm.
In real life, that VHF radio is a cheap safety device.
Mhm.
One of the it's as cheap as that personal flotation device that inflates automatically. Seriously, why would you not have one on board your boat? I get it. I get that. I got a cell phone. I'm not going out that far. I got a cell phone that will drown with a spit of rain coming down.
Well, you want to ask the question, how well do they work after they've been in the water?
Yeah. Well, here's the question I ask them: how many times do you drop a call? Regularly.
Here's another point.
Mhm.
When you got a problem and you're using your cell phone telling about it,
Who are you going to call?
well, no, who hears them? Who hears you?
Yeah.
One person.
And if you dial 911, nothing. I love 911. I mean, I worked where 911 dispatchers took care of me on a daily basis, right? In law enforcement. So I love them, but they don't know a whole lot about the water. And you dial them in 2 miles offshore, and they can say, I don't see where you are. You don't show up on my screen. Well,
Yeah.
guess what? Where are you? I'm in the ocean. Let me transfer you to Coast Guard. There's the first drop call. Then what you going to do?
Yep.
And like Carl says, you pick up that radio on channel 16, the hailing and distress channel, and you start calling for assistance. Coast Guard's going to hear you.
Yep.
You got 2 tow services here. They're going to hear you. You've got every marina in the area going to hear you. And every other boater with a radio on it should be listening to channel 16, and they're going to hear you if they're close enough.
And if the captain on the boat showed people in the crew where that little red button is on the radio, you don't
Mhm.
even have to talk on the radio.
I'm going to bring
That's
I'm going
right.
to bring that to your attention, though. You guys who buy your new radio, first thing you do when you get that radio installed is you program what they call an MMSI number into it. It's free.
With
You-
Noah.
What's that?
With Noah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. If you're a member of Towboat, like I am, you can just go to their website and they'll help you sign up right then and there. I've got 2 new radios. You can program it into that one number into every device on your boat. And that's what I've done on both radios.
Mhm.
If one of them goes down,
Interesting.
it doesn't matter which one, you just lift that little lever and push that button, and the Coast Guard will triangulate your position.
And the key thing on that is we'll get signal. It comes in on channel 70.
Correct.
And what happens is if you have the radio and it is not hooked up to your chart plotter or it doesn't have an internal GPS, all we know is that there's a problem. But if it is hooked up to your GPS, we'll have your exact location.
Absolutely. And if it's not hooked up to your GPS, well, one of my radios has got GPS built in, so it does it automatically, and the other one is connected. So both of them will sound the alarm. Good morning. Who's this?
Hi, this is Erin Lawrence. I'm calling from Nielsen to conduct the radio ratings in your area. We want to include your opinion regarding your local radio
She wants to
station
do
today. This call may be monitored or recorded
Really?
for quality purposes. Did you listen to a radio at home, in a car, or at
Is this
Oh my
new-
gosh.
This is a
Are you
rating
live?
service? No.
No. Hello?
I've cut them down.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
This
You-
is Irene Lawrence.
Yes,
I'm calling from
Can,
Newfoundland
hello,
to
hello.
conduct a
Can
radio
you hear
rating
me?
in your
Can
area.
you hear me?
Mhm.
We're on the air live right now on radio. You're on the air live on radio. You may want to call somebody else. Okay. Click.
Well, that took care of that. She's calling to do a survey. Do you listen to the radio? And I'm like, what? Is this a joke?
That was funny.
Oh my gosh, that was unbelievable.
Well, interesting morning, huh?
Okay.
Yes, it is.
You probably want to block that number.
We get all sorts of calls in here, usually after 9 o'clock, though.
Right.
If I'm hanging around here.
Well, I was just looking at your U.S. aids to navigation systems, and I never realized that there are differences in buoys and beacons and day boards and the meaning of the different color lights.
Yeah,
never knew that.
especially around here when we get people that come in from inland who have been freshwater sailors.
Right.
They know that on the right side of your boat, it's always green going and red returning.
Oh, okay.
Except,
However,
Yeah.
except when they come down here and they get into the intercoastal waterway,
Mm,
you're not going and returning because it's parallel to the coast.
that's right.
And so people have to remember that when you're in the intercoastal waterway, that it was built by a southerner. You're going south, returning home, it's red on the right. If you're heading north, it's green on the right. And that's
Okay.
very confusing when you are coming in Bogue Inlet, where you are coming in, so it's red on the right, and then you hit the intercoastal waterway, and you may want green on the right, even
What
though
if you
you're
just
returning.
drive right down the middle?
Yeah, and watch out for other people.
now
Yes.
here's the way I tell people about that green and the intercoastal waterway. Green is like the green sea. It's whatever side that green is on is going to be the side closest to the ocean.
Some people say it's the Raleigh
Raleigh
side of the
side.
ICW.
Got it.
Keep the red on the Raleigh
Gee,
side.
I'm gonna have so much to learn when I finally.
You know, there are two colored
that
lights on
boat.
boats, green and red, right? Which side is the green light on the boat?
All I remember, and when I did drive the boat, is I think I always had to go to the right of the buoy.
No, there's a light. There are navigation
You
lights
don't
on your
ask me
boat.
about lights.
The green side, green has the same number of letters as right has in it.
Maybe.
Well, okay, I never thought about that, but
Oh, the other way to look at that too, on the left side is red,
Mhm.
and it's called the port side.
Yes.
So port wine was red.
y'all confusing me. I'll just get in the boat and drive.
So if you turn around in a boat and you're facing the stern, which is the back end of the boat, y'all,
That's correct.
which side is the port side on? Is it on my right
Oh,
side or on
making
my
this
left
hard.
side?
Yeah, I used to have a pair of navigation socks, a red one and a green one.
Oh, really?
And I had a captain get very confused one time. I said, I use these for navigation, and I always know which is the right side because I just look down at my feet. And it's the green side is on the right.
I'm just gonna look for the lighthouse.
There you go. There you go.
But one thing to bring up here is time is we're talking about learning these things.
Yes,
One of the things the Coast Guard Auxiliary does is conduct courses,
right.
and we do it right here at Amarillo.
Can they take you on the water? And will they go on the water with you?
No,
And
Not
classroom.
part of the course, no.
darn.
Let me ask you about that. North Carolina now requires boaters, at one time it was after a certain age or before, whatever,
Mhm.
that they get a safety course,
Right.
sanctioned safety course. Is yours one of those
Yes.
that they can
Yes.
take? Cool. And how much is that?
Just paid for the book.
Yeah,
Buy the
it's
book.
about $30-$40, depending.
Just for the
Well
book.
worth
primarily.
it. Well
Yeah.
worth it.
Oh, absolutely. You got to
Yes.
have it anyway.
Mhm.
Um,
Some people are tempted to take it online, and we really discourage that because when we give the course locally, we talk people about the local conditions. We talk to people
Mhm.
about how you really do come in the inlet or go out the inlet. And it's a lot more thorough instruction on how to kind of float your boat around here. As
Well,
opposed to
also,
chicken
when you
line.
do it in class, you get the interaction. of
You
the
get to
people.
ask questions,
Yeah.
Right.
and you learn from what other people's mistakes have been, and the same everything. So it's an in-person classroom situation. How many do you have to teach a class? Do you have a certain number?
We've taught down as low as 3 sometimes.
Really?
It depends. It depends on how busy we are, the availability of instructors, but we're always looking for people who want to take the course.
Okay,
So
got it. So if somebody wants to take this class, some of you new boaters here, or maybe you're new to boating here,
mhm.
so it will help you with that as well, just like you were saying. Especially if you've come from an inland area and you don't know our local conditions, so intercoastal, the ocean, or whatever. We have people down at Tideline come in and say, I want to buy this boat because I've never been in the ocean. I want to go in the ocean. What's the first thing that I need to know? I said, find somebody who can teach you
Mhm.
and go with you on your boat.
Absolutely.
Don't go out there by yourself the first
Right.
go round, because you're going to be surprised.
Yep.
Anybody, I had an uncle, he was an avid boater. He said, anybody under most conditions can get into the ocean. Coming back into calm waters with big waves behind you is a different story.
Yeah.
And things can turn really bad. You know when not to go into the ocean when you get there.
They have this term
But-
called getting swamped.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And there's a remnants of a shrimp boat right now, and still in New River Inlet. You can see it.
Mhm.
They missed the channel.
Well, one of the reasons I'm in the Coast Guard Auxiliary is when I came down here, I'd retired and I was an inland boater quite a bit. And I went out the inlet and my confidence exceeded my capabilities. And
Oh, wow.
I had a true adventure. And I said, oh, this is different than Gunnersville Lake. And so
Uh-huh.
I turned around and came back and wound up taking a safety course at the Emerald Isle Coast Guard station. And that's why I'm in there. And I'm a lot safer boater now
Cool.
because of that. So.
That's good. Well, I would definitely recommend a boating course to
You
anybody
yeah, well, it's also kind of
and
required
everybody.
these days
Yes.
for virtually
Well, that's
anybody.
good. That's good.
The next one we're going to have is the 13th of August.
Well, I have to get a boat first, unless you know somebody
You
with
don't
a
need a
boat.
boat.
You don't need a boat. Oh, well,
You
okay.
don't remember he's telling you here?
What's that?
You may be on somebody else's boat.
Oh, that's right.
You may be have to run somebody else's boat if they go down.
In fact,
Well, as
lots
long
of
as
times,
it's got a key and ignition, I'll be running.
lots of time in our courses we'll have a family take the course,
Right.
so they need to know this.
That's very good. Yes, I
least
didn't
a
think
spouse,
about
anyway.
that. Yes.
Yeah, if everybody in your boat, unless it's just a one-time visitor or whatever, if you got people that boat with you regularly, please
Right.
take a course.
Right.
Mm.
Well, I'll ask you some questions after we come back from
Yep.
the break. There's a couple questions I want to ask.
Weather's next. You're live and local, Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. If you've got a Coast Guard auxiliary question, if you would like to know a little bit more, give us a call. These gentlemen will take your calls right now, 910-333-0139. Carl and Fred in the studio. We'll be right back. Hey, if you need a boat, or if you just want a boat, it doesn't matter if you need it or not, and you want it, you
Just
deserve
want
it.
it.
You've worked for it, deserve it. Go buy
Love
one,
it.
but take a course at the
I
same
already know what
time.
I'm naming it.
What?
Lady Blue.
Oh, that one, Lady Blue. There
That's
you
right.
go.
That's my
Too much
motto.
work and not enough time on the water. That's a real formula for disaster,
That's right.
stress,
It's stressful.
aggravation. And whether it's a Lund boat for creeks and rivers or an Aquasport Bay boat for the rivers, intercoastal waterway, and nearshore fishing, check out what Tideline Marine has to offer. While you're looking at boats, take a gander around the ship's store. Tideline's carrying a good variety of lures that local professional guides have recommended. Those guides fish in the White Oak River, the New River, intercoastal waterway, and near shore. Some of them fish offshore, way offshore. We've got all that stuff down at Tideline. Tideline Marine, 159 Old Bridge Street on the banks of the New River in downtown Jacksonville. So, gentlemen, before I hit the weather, how important is marine weather?
I was going to ask you a test question.
Good.
What's the first thing you want to check before you go out on the water?
The winds?
The weather, period.
The weather.
Absolutely.
Well, winds is part of the weather.
Well, what's part of the
It's
weather?
part of the weather. but
Oh, yeah.
Lightning is another part of
Yeah,
it.
all right. Weather. Definitely weather. I thought we were being more specific. I've
Well,
already
weather,
failed.
and sometimes you can have winds way offshore that you don't have near shore, but the waves are still big coming in
right.
from those wind-driven waves way offshore. So you got
Right.
to check waves. You got to check, and of course, for those of us who fish, we check water temperature.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking for certain breaks and whatever. So there's a whole lot of things to do. Weather is first, right?
Right.
Absolutely. And today, so I'm going to ask you, I'm going to give you some of the forecasts today, basic forecasts, and then I want you to tell me good day or not. Southwesterly winds 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 6, 4 to 5. Dominant period 7 seconds. Go or no go?
7 seconds is bad. What kind of a boat you got? You got a John boat or
Thank you very much. That's the first question anybody should be asking. And how comfortable are you and how experienced are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but is it a V-hull or a flat bottom?
If it's a flat bottom, you don't go.
That I know.
Okay.
The other thing that's good to be aware of is that when the wind and the tides are against each other in the inlet, it can get really nasty.
Yes.
And so if we have a southwest wind,
Along our coast here.
you don't want to be going out Bogue Inlet and fighting a southwest wind. And you said the waves are going to be
4 to 5.
Yeah, that'll be kind of exciting.
Southwesterly winds tomorrow, 15 to 20, gusts to 25, 4 to 5 again tomorrow, and 3 to 5 on Thursday, winds out of the southwest at 15 to 20.
Yeah, it sounds like inshore fishing to me.
Be a perfect day for inshore.
Definitely. Pure
Or
fishing.
As you put it a lot, the day that God says don't go out.
Okay, real quick. Today, mostly sunny with a high near 90. Heat index values as high as 100 degrees. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 78. Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high near 95 with a heat index value as high as 107. Wednesday night, partly cloudy, low 77. And Thursday, mostly sunny with a high near 96.
Now, I'm going to talk a little bit again about what you did on
Mhm.
Sunday. Now, as you're approaching somebody in the water, now this goes for you guys who are pulling tubes as well. And when you throw your passenger off, they jump off, they fall off, or whatever happens.
Yeah, I've done that.
When you do that, you turn around, you take your boat, you turn around, you come get them, right?
No. You turn around and you see which way the winds are blowing. And what you try to do is come into your person in the water perpendicular to the wind so that when the bow of your boat is even with the person in the water, you stop and the wind will gently blow your boat down, touch you to the person. And then once you've
Oh,
got
I
contact
get
with the
that.
person, then you move them to the back of the boat, turn off your engine. Because
Right
as
away.
you were talking about before with that propeller in the back, that
Yes.
is a Cuisinart.
It is a weapon of mass destruction.
And it will chop a leg off in a blink of an eye.
It will.
Which is why one of the very few things we will try and chase somebody down on when we're out on patrol is every now and then we'll see somebody with a child generally up on the bow of the boat
It's
having
illegal.
a wonderful time flying down the intercoastal waterway or down one of the rivers, and they are having a good time.
Legs hanging over.
And
Yeah.
they have no idea how dangerous that is because literally in the blink of an eye, that child, even if with a life jacket on, can go off the boat, under the boat, and then
Chop,
they're
chop.
sliced up. And so
Right.
we really, really, really push, don't bow ride.
As any boater will, if have you ever run aground?
Yeah. Have I ever boated?
That's what I was going to say. The
If
person
you
who
say no,
says
you're lying.
you're lying if you say no. Absolutely. And we had that experience one of our days fishing during this tournament, and the buoy is adrift, partially adrift. It ain't where it's supposed to be. You're coming
Mhm.
back in New River Inlet, and I cut it a little short.
Mhm.
I went by the buoy, but I cut it a little too tight.
What'd you do then?
I stopped abruptly.
I mean, were you able to back it up?
Nope. The boat leans over on a keel when it comes out.
Can you get out and push it? I know it's a dumb
weighs
question.
weighs 5 tons. Go ahead.
I know, I was just kidding. Oh my gosh. So what do you do?
Wait for high tide. The tide was
Oh,
coming in, thank
man.
goodness.
Oh,
I did
yeah.
go ahead and make my call to towboat. They were going to dispatch somebody. And I called them off in about 30 minutes because they had to come out of Scotts Hill. But I called them off because the boat started floating a little bit. And when the boat started floating a little bit, she was floating with the current coming in. So
Mhm.
it put me right into
I
deep
bet there
water.
were some words
Oh,
floating
fortunate.
also.
Yep.
That's
One of the things when people run aground is sometimes they say, "Well, I can get through this," and they try to power forward, and you
Oh,
don't
that's
want to
the
do
wor-
that.
You're going the wrong
well,
way.
that would
You
be.
you want to go out the same way you came in.
Wow.
And the good news around here, as opposed to up north, is that our bottoms are generally soft,
Mhm.
as opposed to rocks in the north.
Correct.
And if you're someplace where there's rocks, you might not want to get off right away until
Mm.
you check and see if there's a hole in your boat.
Yeah, there you go.
But here, if you are aground and there's a couple of people aboard, it's not that hard for somebody to get out and push the boat, depending upon the weather and the size of the boat and things like
Yeah.
that. Or you can take an anchor off the stern
Pull yourself out.
and pull yourself out. So there's a
Right.
couple of ways to get out. We talk about that in the class.
Yep.
Now, with the buoy being adrift, does that mean it's not
It had
moored
moved.
like it should?
It had moved, and they do that, and sometimes in high winds, high surf,
Oh,
whatever.
I see.
It just is where it is on low tide. It's leaning.
Well, as a boater, and if you knew that, would
I called
you
it in.
report that? Yeah, call it in.
Yes, that's one of the things that actually Carl does. They'll go out and it's called ATON verification, aids to navigation. And we
Right.
literally go out, and I think there's 600 and something buoys around here, and we go out and survey and make sure that they are in fact where they're supposed to be. But it's a once a year operation, and all it takes is a storm. Or if you think about a buoy, especially, it's a rock
Right.
with a chain on it
Right.
and something floating on the surface.
How do you move it?
It takes a special boat.
A buoy tender.
Wow.
But what happens is that chain at the bottom is mixing with water and
Yes.
sand
Yes.
and rattles back and forth and back and forth and back
Mhm.
and forth, and sooner or later
It's gonna come loose.
it's not it you lose it. And so that what they try to do is routine maintenance. So they pull them and change the chains out. But if you have an exceptionally rough maintenance situation, the conditions are bad, the buoy floats away. So it's not as easy as one might think to keep those where they
No,
like
it's
to
not.
have them.
And we check them on the rivers too.
And the other thing is, inlets and channels change position themselves. Mother
Right.
Nature
Right.
can move what used to be deep water right here. Today is a sandbar. I've been through that one through New River Inlet many times.
One of the things we have on our website is the Corps of Engineers surveys.
I love that site.
And you can go there and actually see what the current depths are throughout all of the inlets in North Carolina. So when I'm going to go out, and I haven't been out in a while, I'll go down there and I look at what the Bogue Inlet
Mhm.
is today, because that is a very dynamic area, and I suspect New Inlet is not much different.
New River is the same way.
And so that sand will shift. So if you were there a month or two ago, it may not be the same today. And so if you just look at it and check that site, you'll know what's going on.
These classes that you offer will also teach people to read the water, right?
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah, because there is and if you haven't learned to do that, you better learn to do that, because sometimes things change from day to day, but you can go out, and if it's white water, just don't go there in the inlets. First of all, that's where waves are breaking on shallow water and shallow bottoms.
See, the one-day course we talked about is the one that's required by the state.
Mhm.
That kind of flies over a lot of these subjects.
Yep.
We also teach a 6-week course twice a week
Oh, cool.
that digs deep into, particularly in navigation.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. But you can get all this information by contacting
AUX.
Swansboro Swansboroaux.com. You can find out all sorts of good stuff.
Yep.
And get signed up.
We'll put that on the Facebook today.
Yeah, we need to do that. We'll get it up there.
And you
Yeah,
can get
definitely.
signed up as a member at Auxiliary too.
Right.
That's
Ah,
Carl's sneaky way of saying we're always looking for more members.
Yeah.
I get you. Well, going through these brochures and stuff, I have a question. What are visual distress signals?
Visual distress signals are those things that will attract attention. So you want to start a fire in a barrel? Hey, that's a visual distress signal. You want to shoot off a
Right.
flare?
Right.
That's a visual distress signal. You want to wave your arms over your head? That's a visual distress signal. Anything that you're using to get somebody's attention. And a lot of times in a period of excitement, what people will do is they'll wave both arms over their heads. And that is the best way because people all know, hey, wait a minute,
Right.
something isn't right.
Right.
And so if they do that, you will get the attention that you're looking for.
Yeah, every boater meeting another boater, they're going to just throw their hands up and wave at them.
Right.
But that's if you think you're going to get somebody's attention and you're in a hurry just by waving your hand at them. No, they're going to wave back at you. Generally speaking, 2 arms over your head, back and forth, kind of like cheerleaders and jumping jacks and all that kind of stuff. That's what gets boaters' attention.
Mhm.
They know there's an issue.
Now, do you gentlemen do vessel safety checks yourself?
Yes. In
Yes.
fact, Carl is the guy that's in
Right,
charge of
I
that
thought
for our
that's what you
flotilla.
said. How often do you go out?
Well,
Now you're talking about go out on patrol type thing.
Yes.
You have to check things.
well, she's talking about vessel safety checks.
Right. I mean, how often do you go out in the water
For
and
example,
what?
at Emerald Boat
Right.
Ramp, we're out there twice a month,
Oh, I get you.
physically out there.
So you get them before they go in the water.
Oh yeah,
We
I
have
gotcha.
we have both scheduled.
Right.
What Carl is talking about. Normally, it's the 3rd Saturday of the month. He'll be there
Mhm.
at the ramp. But if you want one tomorrow or 3 days from tomorrow, you go to the website and we'll have somebody come and hook up there. So it's not a fixed only thing. It's whenever you would like it, plus the scheduled events.
the idea being if you got something wrong with your boat,
Right.
you want to know it before you go out.
Right.
Now you're not when you do that, you're not checking like bilge pumps and that kind of stuff.
Yes, we are.
Oh, do you check the bilge pumps? Oh, cool.
At least that it works.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
There's
So-
stories about people not checking their bilge pump. and
Oh, I
getting
know
it.
that.
And-
Run into
and-
them all the time.
Yeah.
And
one
what
of
does
them in the
that
club.
do?
What's that?
One of them in our club, remember?
Oh yeah, I know. I had one of them. I had an issue. Had a trim tab come off.
Okay.
We were going to pull it. We didn't know it was off. We just knew it wasn't working.
So what
Un-
would you
unfor-
do?
un-
I'm sorry.
They might pick up some experience from this. We didn't pull it right away. The circuit breaker blew on that keeps my batteries charged. For 4 days, the bilge pump worked. It was picking out water. It was coming into the boat, but it was on the port side away from people. That's where my boat's docked. And then on Friday morning, at sometime overnight, the bilge pumps had quit working because the batteries were dead
Mhm.
and they weren't being charged. Perfect world, right? A
Mhm.
perfect storm. And the boat went down. Fortunately, went down just enough to make it look low in the water. When this place opened up, extra bilge pumps were thrown on board. No damage was done. It was pulled out immediately. And lo and behold, there is no trim tab on it
Wow.
and 12 holes
Mhm.
where it pulled through.
Oops.
Yeah.
Drinking and boating.
Yep.
What do you want to say about that?
Well, we talk about drinking and we say, why do you drink? And the answer is to relax.
Right.
And the question is, do you really want to be relaxed when you're driving a boat?
Exactly.
And the answer is no. So if you want to go out and have a bunch of beers, just make sure you're not the guy driving.
Well, what would you do if you were out there on the water and you were just, doing a check and the driver of the boat was very intoxicated?
Call a station.
We would call a station, depending
Coast
upon
Guard
if this
station.
guy's if he's in his backyard and was getting ready to go someplace,
Right.
we'd say, you really don't want to do this. It's very expensive to go out uh, boating under the influence, we call it.
So your advice to boaters: don't drink.
Yeah, I don't like to. I don't want to be relaxed when I'm running my boat,
Right,
especially at speed.
right.
And so it's not that it's against the law.
Right.
It's because it really cuts into your ability to control the boat.
Yeah, you
So-
need to have a probably if you're the operator of the boat, have somebody else there that can take over for you if you drink too
Absolutely.
much.
The law itself is called boating while impaired, BWI.
Right.
And in North
BWI.
Carolina, the federal guys will do something, but generally it's going to be wildlife, marine fisheries will be tagging you, or local law enforcement, because a lot of law enforcement agencies have
Yes,
boats too.
they have
and
boats now
patrols.
too.
Technically,
So-
the term is BUI, boating under influence.
BUI instead of BWI.
That's what the Coast Guard will tell you.
That's the Coast Guard. North
Yeah.
Carolina, I think the law is
Yeah.
BWI, boating while impaired, because it's not even just the influence; it's drugs too.
It's drugs, right?
And either way, whatever it is, it's not that you can't have a beer or a glass of wine. You cannot have alcohol, hard liquor, unless you've got a boat and it's down below deck. If you got a boat with a kitchen, a galley they call it, and sleeping quarters, you can do it, but it has to be below deck.
And not broken. Seal not broken.
Actually, in North Carolina, you can actually have a drink below deck in a cabin boat. So that's
Well,
that
that's
law.
something I wouldn't have thought of.
Yep,
With you had to have a
absolutely.
special permit. That's crazy.
No, you can, but if you're above deck, you cannot have hard liquor.
Really?
That's right. You can have beer and wine. If you are visibly impaired, the officer can arrest you on the spot and take you in for a breathalyzer.
If you're the operator of the
If you're the
boat?
operator, anybody else, and then they
Wow.
won't let anybody else drive the boat who's impaired either. But anyway, that's they will arrest you, put you in handcuffs, and take you to the nearest breathalyzer. Do it all the time. Wildlife does it on a regular basis.
Mhm.
Those guys are pretty tough.
So our
And
coast,
those are state cops, by the way. They can arrest you on land,
Oh, yeah,
at
I'm
sea,
sure
or
they
anywhere
can.
else.
the Coast Guard cutter stationed at Emerald. What's the name of it?
There's not a cutter
There's
at,
not a cutter.
Emerald
There's not a
Isle.
cutter?
There's a 45-foot patrol boat there.
Oh, patrol boat. Okay,
and
thank
it
you.
doesn't have a name. It just has a number. But the cutters
Right.
are up at Morehead City.
Gotcha. How often do they go out?
As necessary. They go out and they do patrols. Sometimes they go out for a day. Sometimes they go out for a
Mhm.
week. It depends on what their mission is. We don't fool with the cutters that much.
Right.
The buoy tenders go out as necessary to maintain the buoys.
Is that the Blackberry, right?
The Bayberry. Yeah.
Bayberry, okay.
And in fact, on my website, there's a film of watching the boats maintain the buoys, and that's a pretty interesting exercise.
better
But they
check that
don't
out.
take visitors.
Now, the
Well,
boats at Emerald Isle do go out every day.
yes.
There's a
But they're
patrol
not-
boat.
The patrol
Yeah.
boats.
They're not the cutters.
Gotcha. And Rayford, you said something about they have by air also?
Yeah, your auxiliary. Some of your guys are actually pilots.
We do. We have some. They're not in our local flotilla.
Mhm.
We have some up in the Morehead City area.
Mhm.
Work out of the Beaufort Airfield, and they will do a lot of times. They do logistics things, or they'll do search patterns depending upon what the needs are up in that area. But we don't have that here. But if you're an aviation oriented person and would like to get into that with the Coast Guard Auxiliary, there's a place for you up in the
That
New
would be
Bern area.
awesome.
In I'm sorry, the Morehead City area.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've known a couple of the pilots there. The one was a good friend of mine. I used to fly with him a lot too.
Mhm.
So, and he had worked on his plane. It was a 170, I think it was, and they modified his plane. Stall speed was 37 knots, so he could get low and slow,
Wow.
and really cool.
Yeah.
And, so because you don't want to running at 90 knots trying to do too much searching up from up there.
Yeah, it's hard to see somebody in the water
Yeah.
at 90 knots.
Yeah. So anyway, all right, let's take a quick break. And if you guys have a question, these folks will be in here for just a few more minutes. Give us a call, 910-333-0139. Interested in joining? Give us a call, 910-333-0139. Okay, we're back, and for the last few minutes here, gentlemen, appreciate you coming in, Fred and Carl, both of you.
I've learned a lot.
And yeah, so now you need to get a boat. Now you got a reason to get a boat, right?
I know.
There you
I'm
go.
excited.
You know some rules of the road and know what you don't know.
Mhm.
That's the first thing. If I used to tell people there are two basic rules on the boat: don't build a fire in it,
Yeah.
and
That
don't let
I
the
can.
water in it.
Yeah,
Keep the
what a
water
good
out
idea.
and don't build a fire. And
Yeah.
from anything else, you can generally kind of recover from.
That's a good start.
Yeah, that's the first thing in the world.
That I would know. No setting up the grill.
VHF radio is important.
It is.
Whether you're in the intercoastal waterway or wherever you are, we've already discussed that. If you're an avid boater, I strongly recommend you have two, because these are electronic devices, and you never know when they're going to quit, but you do know they are going to quit at some point in time.
Yep.
And I also carry a handheld just in case I have to get in the water. It's waterproof down to 3 feet for 30 minutes or whatever, and that's going with me in the water.
And a
I might-
handheld built-in GPS.
Yes, absolutely. And if in case, what I tell people, no, that's not going to reach shore if I'm 50 miles offshore. But if I've alerted thing and my boat goes down, by the time I can see the helicopter, I can talk to the helicopter that's coming my way.
Mhm.
I can vector him in. Good morning. Who's this?
This is Eric Whitfield.
Hey, Eric. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. I was just going to let you know I have to call you tomorrow, I guess. Kind of low on time.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to I was going to get in there. I just didn't want to interrupt your guest.
Okay. I appreciate it, Eric.
But
Call us tomorrow
I'll
morning.
call some. All right.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
School board member Eric Whitfield has been going through a hearing, as you folks out there know, if you follow the show. He's had a hearing yesterday. I don't know whether it's continued today or not. We just don't know that yet. We don't know what the status is.
I think I was told he finished yesterday.
Finished.
So,
Okay, so
yes.
we'll have to figure out what's going to happen. And
Right.
Eric said he'll call in tomorrow, so that's a good clue for you guys to pay
That's
attention.
right. You want to tune in.
One thing I want to mention
Yes.
before we check out, the cutoff switch.
Yeah, that's the law.
Yes.
It's last year was you got a grace period.
Uh-huh.
This year, if it's not connected to you when you're underway, it's fine.
Well, how about a wireless one? Because I know they've come out with
They have-
wireless
That's
now.
okay.
So as long as you can show you have a wireless
Yes.
system. Okay.
There are also, check the rules, the regulations. There are all sorts of things there. First of all, even if you're not required to have one, it's a dang good thing to have one,
Oh, sure.
Right.
especially in a
Oh.
small boat.
Most
Because
definitely.
especially if you're the only person on that boat.
They have those on the treadmills at the gym. Need those.
What a
Hey,
good
Robert.
idea.
Robert, good morning. How are you? Well, he hung up. All right. Gentlemen, thank you. Appreciate you coming
Yeah,
in,
it's
sir.
very
Thanks for having us.
informative,
Okay.
and I appreciate all these because I'm going to be studying them. And
Can I ask a favor?
Sure.
sure,
Can I just get a picture so we can put our newsletter?
Absolutely.
of course.
But we're gonna you can do that during a break. How's that? We're gonna take a break right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Okay.
remember swansboroaux.aux.com.
We're gonna harp on that one.
Gotcha.
You're live in local real talk, folks. Don't go away. We'll be right back after we get a picture taken. And we are back and on the line. Robert, is that you, Robert?
Yeah, this is Robert.
I thought so. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning,
Good morning,
Robert.
Rayford and
Lee?
Lee today.
Lee. I got a quick question for the auxiliary. If they're still there,
They just left.
weapons. Can you carry a shotgun or a pistol, or do you have the pistol concealed? Could you keep it open? What is the
Good
answer to that question?
Same thing you would do if you have one on a boat or in a car. Same
Right.
thing. If you got a concealed carry permit, you can carry it concealed, but you also have to notify law enforcement. They are not law enforcement. The auxiliary is not law enforcement. If the Coast Guard stops you, wildlife stops you, marine fisheries stops you, or any local law enforcement agency stops you, you have to tell them that you have a concealed weapon. If you can carry it open, that's fine. That's not a problem. No problem whatsoever. Shotguns, pistols, rifles, whatever it is.
Okay, that's a good answer to the question. All right, thank you.
Now, at a boat ramp, you cannot openly carry it. You can carry it, put it in your boat if you're launching your boat, but around a boat ramp, the state does not want you carrying your gun.
So you can't like have it on your belt?
No, it has to be. I think it has to be unloaded too, even at that time until you get aboard your boat.
Wow.
One of the things is because a lot of people move in shotgun when they're duck hunting during the winter. They're moving shotguns back and forth from their truck or car back to their boat. They don't want it loaded during that process. So that's one of the
That's
things. It's
interesting.
common sense. I don't know the exact law on that, but you can look it up. If you're intent on carrying your gun aboard your boat, those are some of the rules that you need to take a look at very carefully. Okay.
All right, thank you, Rayford.
You're welcome.
Thanks,
Bye.
Robert.
Bye-bye now.
Good question.
Yep.
That was a good question.
A lot of folks don't understand. They say, "Well, I got a boat. I got my gun on it." It's all right. You can do that as long as you have a concealed carry permit. You can keep it concealed.
Right.
If it's within easy access and hidden, you have to have a concealed carry permit. If you got a cabin boat and your gun is down below deck, you don't have to do anything.
Because it's like being in your house.
It's being in your house.
I
And
wouldn't think you'd have to have a concealed permit for the boat
yeah, why
if
not?
you're hiding it. You know what I'm saying?
If it's it's just like a car.
Well, I know when I took my concealed carry class,
Uh-huh.
there was never a mention of that.
They don't talk about it, but if you check the boating laws,
That's true.
it's the same North Carolina general statute as it is for a car.
Well, who would have thought?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good thing, but I think I'm sure that you always carry when you go out on
Oh
your
yeah, yeah,
boat.
yeah.
I would too. Of course, I have a permit too, but
Yep.
it's good to know as long as I have my permit.
And even if you don't have a permit, you can carry a handgun, and you can have it as long as it's available for the man to see. And
Right.
whether concealed or not concealed, it's a really good habit
All right.
to advise the man.
Mm-hmm.
It's required by law
That's
if
right.
you've got it concealed and have a concealed carry permit too.
That's right.
Okay. But just advise them that you've got one. I don't know any cops, water cops, or any other cops that are opposed to in this state
Oh, I'm
that
sure
are opposed to
would
people
never
having
being opposed to it.
to
Right.
people having guns.
Wow. Whoa. That last hour went
They
fast. That was
did.
great
Yeah.
And
And coming up tomorrow, we had a quick call there from Eric Whitfield. Eric is
Yes.
a member of the Onslow County Board of Education. He had a hearing yesterday, and I don't know what the results of the hearing are. Maybe we'll find out a little bit more today.
Yeah, we'll find out.
But
Yeah.
Eric's going to be calling in tomorrow to tell us what's happening and what his future is.
Right.
Some school board members and the public have demanded basically that Eric leave the Board of Education.
Correct.
Eric has so far declined to resign on his own. So they've had a hearing based upon a conviction and an attitude or whatever it is. They say they didn't like what was going on and it was disruptive and whatever, interfered with their ability to perform their duties. So we'll find out tomorrow
Yeah,
from
be
Eric.
interesting.
Firsthand.
Yes.
That's what I like to do.
Straight from Eric.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
If you want to know, poor Kamala. You know what the Hill is? They report on stuff, right?
Right.
They reported yesterday
Right.
that Democrats were worried about a lack of diehard Kamala Harris loyalists. They don't have the diehard Kamala Harris loyalist within the administration. 25 people have resigned from her staff.
I'm
been in
telling
office.
you, we talked about that last week. They're just dropping.
The vice president attempted to steady the ship by bringing on veterans such as Jamal Simmons, who is her new communications director, Lorraine Valls, her new chief of staff. Others have said that Harris' staff exodus could make her political future more difficult. An Ohio University professor told the outlet that a loyal group of staffers could make or break a political career. Absolutely. In this case, she
Absolutely.
doesn't have a loyal group of staffers.
Well, look, Jill Biden's press secretary, he's leaving. I don't know what's going on at the White House.
Well, the
but
ship is sinking. That's what's going on.
yeah, well,
That boat's going down.
that ship sunk.
And there's nobody
long
at the
time ago.
helm. I mean, we've got inflation like we haven't had inflation in what, 40 plus years?
40 years, yes.
Since Carter was in office.
That's right.
If you think those I've just kicked myself in the butt Sunday when I bought gas filled up for $3.53 a gallon. I said, boy, isn't it nice to find cheap gas again? I'm like, what this Sam Hill are you talking about?
Yeah,
2 years ago
what
was
did I
$2.
just say?
2 years ago it was $2.12
That's
before
right.
Biden's
I've
before
got to
the
get
election.
gas today, so
Jeez, I'm stupid.
yeah, I
Even
might
think
go to
that
the
way.
gym today. I went to the gym yesterday. First thing my instructor said was, "What kind of squats are you going to do today?" You know what my response was?
None.
Diddly.
Live and local real talk. And you're going to be back tomorrow, right?
I'll be back tomorrow.
Live and locally real talk right here on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME. We'll be back in 22 hours. Fox News break is next. We've got Rick Dees, the Daily Dees at 10 o'clock, and Chris Hollywood Man
That's right.
coming up this
Hollywood
afternoon
Man.
at 3 o'clock. Stay tuned. Have a
Okay.
great rest of your day.
See y'all.